Welcome to our Sonic Adventure 2 commentary. This one I've been excited about for such a long time, ever since we started the channel and we decided who was getting what Sonic games. Man, I love Sonic Adventure 2.
That's the most 2000s credits logo I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's something I should note. I have some Dreamcast restoration mods on, similar to the Sonic Adventure playthrough that we did, because this is the PC version, and you know there's some issues with the basic version of it. Less so with Sonic Adventure 2 than as compared to Sonic Adventure DX on Steam.
Did you fix the volume mixing?
Yes, I did actually. That's one of the mods I have installed.
Yay!
And it makes the game so much better. And you'll also, if fans of the English version of the game might notice, we are playing in Japanese, but the dialogue on the subtitles is a little different. We got the retranslated Japanese dialogue mod, which is just a more faithful rendition of the dialogue itself for this game, just because I find it better than the base English localization, the official English localization.
Yeah,
I should say.
something interesting. A lot of people don't know about Sonic Adventure 2 on PC. It is a port of the Xbox 360 version, which is a port of the GameCube version, which is a port of the Dreamcast version, which is ultimately a port of Super Mario 64.
Oh shit!
I bet you didn't know that one.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know it went that deep. And you know, Super Mario 64 is basically just a 3D rendition of the original Super Mario Brothers. It's exactly 1-to-1. If you look at the graphics, it's the exact same game. So.
Well, what's interesting about this port of Mario 64 is it actually uses the original concept. Because the game wasn't called Mario 64, it was called Mario 64, and you played as this weird dolphin girl. Arc Systems would later reuse the character.
Shut your bitch ass.
And what's interesting is this is the one version of the game where it has the dash. It's just been turned into the spin dash, but it is there.
Fuck you and your goddamn Mario 64 mods.
So anyways, talk about the game.
Yeah.
Why do you like SA2?
Sonic Adventure 2 is just peak. What can I say? No, just to basically start out, this is like one of my first Sonic games. Not my first. My first was Sonic Heroes. But this is probably the Sonic game that I spent the most time on as a kid before like Sonic Generations came out. Man, I put my original GameCube save file has the timer maxed out at 999 hours. I probably played a lot more beyond that, but I love this game to death. I think, well, because it's, you know, a Sonic Adventure game, we get multiple different play styles, different characters have different gameplay mechanics, yada yada yada. But just talking about the speed stages here, I think these are some of the best 3D Sonic gameplay there is. They're pretty like, if you've played the Boost games, it's pretty similar to that, just, you know, at a slower pace. It's got more of a free running style to it compared to the Boost games. You're doing tricks off ramps, you're doing tricks off of poles, you're doing grind rail shit. All the game points to get that sweet A rank, and these are some of the most satisfying Sonic levels for me, personally. And that alone was enough to keep me going as a kid, just coming back over and over to replay, because man, nothing was more satisfying than getting that A rank. Ooh.
I should add, before we get too far, we're probably not going to talk directly about what's happening on screen too often. This game is horribly fast-paced.
Yeah, it just goes. It breezes by. We just went past City Escape, which is probably the one of the best opening stages in a Sonic game. I think everyone can agree on that one. Very iconic, but, you know, there's just too much to talk about with this game, and we don't have a lot of time because it's pretty damn short. So, yeah, that's just how it is. These bosses still suck, though.
Some things never change.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on Sonic Adventure 2, huh?
It's a good-ass game. It is not my favorite, but it is a good-ass game.
Yeah. And I am fully okay with this not being people's favorite Sonic game. It's not my favorite either, to be clear. I love it to death. I'm addicted to it, but I would still consider something like Sonic Generations to be better. Something like Sonic Unleashed Day Stages to be better. Something like, you know, a lot of other stuff like that. Shadow Gens, even, I would put above the adventure games for me. But, you know, there's just something about this game. It's like you with Sonic Unleashed. There's just something about this game that I adore to death, and it's definitely rose-tinted goggles, but I don't give a fuck. This game's good.
We also got introduced to Shadow's theme, and while it doesn't get brought back too often, it's awesome. Yeah. Unfortunately, it gets usually overshadowed by All Hail Shadow, which is a good song too, but like, the original, you can't beat it.
We kind of blew our load on Shadow the Hedgehog on this channel with the Shadow Generations commentary. But this is his first game, and he's such a badass. I love him. He's so cool.
Yeah, this is... Giving Sonic this kind of a rival was a great idea at this point.
Yeah.
I know everyone says Knuckles is the rival, but like...
Well, Knuckles
only for like 5
rival.
Only for like 8 years. At this point, he's been so overshadowed by Shadow.
Overshadowed.
That, like, intentional, sure. That you just can't see him in the same way. It's given Shadow much more of an iconic look since they've actually stuck with it.
Well, they've also, yeah, they kind of just stopped having Knuckles be a rival, and it's more of like a sort of a Michelangelo and Raphael kind of dynamic between Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah,
where Sonic is just
accurate.
kind of a cheeky bastard to Knuckles all the time. And I kind of like that for their dynamic, because, you know, they did start out as rivals, but they are definitely more friendly with each other. And the only way they can think of to make Knuckles antagonistic to Sonic nowadays is to have him get tricked by Eggman. So
it's kind of funny. Shadow's more of a rival now than he was in this game. Like, he's kind of a rival, but he's not exactly trying to rival Sonic. Sonic and him are just the same.
Yeah.
And then in later games, Shadow's just doing his own thing, and Sonic happens to show up.
Yeah.
The only time I feel a sense of rivalry between the two is like Heroes, until like some of the modern games where they rewrite Shadow a ton.
Sonic and Shadow in this game are more rivals by nature because they're so similar in their abilities, and but they have completely different backgrounds to one another. Like, it's understated in this game because we'll talk about the story presentation, I'm sure. But the Sonic and Shadow are very similar personality-wise. Shadow just kind of got fucked up by some horrible shit that happened, and now he hates everything and everyone, and he's very, very angry. But that doesn't stop him from being as confident as Sonic, like, he follows his philosophy in a very similar way that Sonic does. And yeah, just by nature they are very similar. They're like two sides of the same coin. And I really like that about the dynamic of those two in this game. It's kind of lost in later games, but in later games they do become more outwardly rivalry, which I kind of like as well. So yeah, but Sonic's been arrested. It's kind of funny.
This The first time I played this game, so for reference, I played this after gens. So like in 2012, 2013, and I hadn't even been in Adventure 1 yet. Like I was on the extra campaigns, and I was like, I just want to play as Shadow, so I got this. And I was so confused at the start of this game. I was like, I had to have missed something. So I put this game on hold for like a week, and I went and finished SA1, and I was so pissed off that I still didn't understand.
Yeah, the main trio, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, do just kind of show up. Rouge as well. That's kind of she's more similar to the main heroes in that way. But
You're decades at least too young to face me, I'm the Fox Cub.
Yes. It's peak. Because that's the whole dynamic with this game is that
did you mention the retranslation mod?
Yes, I did. That was one of the first things I mentioned. Yeah, so that's like the whole dynamic with this game is that you have your main heroes and their rival characters, their dark side characters. So, you know, Tails being the genius with a mech because he's always had one of those, right? He obviously rivals Eggman with his genius intellect and a mech. And his whole arc in this is kind of being able to stand toe-to-toe with Eggman. Well, it's a very similar arc to what he had in Sonic Adventure. Let's be real. But, yeah. I like the rival dynamics in this. They have some pretty good payoffs later on once, you know, everyone starts respecting each other and whatnot. Yeah, and I like these mech levels. We kind of glazed past the treasure hunting, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. The mech stage is really fun. They're kind of just like a Crash Bandicoot, really weighty platformer, mixed with an on-rails arcade shooter type thing. Tails is not literally on rails, but he is. He's got like shooting mechanics, and it's pretty fun. A lot of people don't like these because he's like the weight of the mech is very fucking heavy. And yeah, it takes some getting used to, but I find it pretty satisfying.
You can get used to Super Metroid. You can get used to this just fine.
Yeah. The only issues you would really have otherwise is just like the general jank of Sonic Adventure 2, because this game, like all the early 3D Sonic games, is filled to the brim with jank. They didn't quite get wall collisions correct in this series until like Shadow the Hedgehog. And even then, not really good until Unleashed.
I think Sonic Heroes has fine working wall collisions, but
yeah, there's not really any issues with it. Just that game just has its own set of jank, I think. So.
Oh yeah. Didn't include it. Everything else is jank, but the walls are fine.
Yeah. But what happens with wall collisions in this game, and this is a very specific topic, I know, but when you touch a wall in this game, some of them just flat out stop you from moving if you're touching it. Like you wouldn't slide along it like you would in like Sonic Adventure or whatever, or Sonic Heroes or whatever. You just kind of stop against it, and when you do that in midair with these mechs, it feels like the gravity doubles. So you just shoot downward. So if you're doing some of the tighter platforming sections and you touch like one of the platforms from the side, Tails can like accelerate downwards really fast, and you don't expect it, and it's kind of funny. But other than that, I don't think there's really any problem with the mech control in this. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun. It's probably my second favorite gameplay style. Actually, yeah, I think it's my second favorite gameplay style in this game over the treasure hunting. I like the treasure hunting in this, but yeah, this is fun. This is fun.
I like Pumpkin Hill, and that's about it.
Really? You don't like fucking Meteor Herd? Or Wild Canyon?
Do you
I think Wild
like
Canyon's
Meteor
pretty
Herd?
good. I like Meteor Herd. Mad
Oh,
Space is the one that's shit.
Oh, okay. No, I don't like Meteor Herd. That one's too big.
Mad Space is genuinely some of the worst gameplay in the Sonic series. Like, you can get used to it, like everything in this series, but man, we'll get to that when we get to it, though. In like 7 parts from now. It's Amy!
This cutscene's hilariously goofy.
This cutscene is amazing. Okay, I will say, I think the Sonic Adventure 2 storyline is actually done way better in Sonic X, the Japanese version at the very least, compared to the actual game itself. Because, you know, that's something people don't really realize about Sonic X, is that Sonic Team was directly involved with the writing and the everything like that for that show.
I do think this is the type of storyline that's much more benefited by being in a TV show than a video game.
Yeah, and
it kind of makes sense because the writers, I believe, were directly inspired by this manga called Please Save My Earth. I don't know how many story connections there are, or it may even just be an initial concept of like Maria and Shadow's dynamic. I'll let you know when I read it one day.
Okay.
I've tried, but the first volume is so ugly.
Yeah.
It is fully translated in English though, if you want to read it.
Okay.
Because Shiro Mayakawa, I don't know.
I might give it a shot. What was I going to say?
You will for a certain side project, I'm sure, one day.
There goes that Crazy Jelly universe again.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't talk about that time we did something, so it's not there yet.
That time that we mentioned the secret project we're working on? No. Which is the Sonic Adventure 2 Part 1. Which takes place after Dark Souls Part 1, but will be released before it. Dark Souls 2 Part 1.
Oh,
it all connects.
Oh,
it all
my
connects.
Goodness.
Anyways, this is like one of the best levels in the game, just right away. I should say the pacing of this story and specifically the individual, the hero story especially, way too fast. We just got arrested like 2 levels ago. We're doing our big escape already, and we're getting through 3 of Sonic's 6 levels in this game, in this first part. It's kind of ridiculous. This game has horrible pacing. And that's not something that I really noticed as a kid, because I was just like, ooh, I get to play another Sonic level, yay!
Right. Well, because all the story content, for all intents and purposes, is in the dark side story. And that's what you're going to remember.
You're going to get, the most you'll get out of the hero side story, which is essentially just Sonic gets framed by Shadow, and he's arrested, and the government is after him, and his accomplices. You know, the most you'll get out of it is some neat interactions between the cast, and that's just about it. The dark side story and then the final story are where like all the actual content of the plot is. Yeah, look, I got a fucking B. I was 100 points off.
That's so sad.
I want to kill myself. See, we had this conversation at some point, but you were like, this is why you can't do Sonic games, because you just like get the perfect run on every level and we wouldn't be in here long enough. And I was like, okay, I'll take that to heart. So I didn't really restart any of these levels. Unless I like fucked up egregiously. Okay. You said it. It was like an off-camera thing. It wasn't on camera. We were like in a Discord call. I was playing Shadow Generations, and you were like, "Yeah, this is why you don't get to record the new games." Blah 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 or whatever. So, we will get some A ranks and stuff here and there.
I mean, it honestly doesn't really matter.
I mean, I'm mostly getting A ranks, I should say.
If anything, we should have given the controller to like someone who's never played the game before, so the levels would take longer and we could talk about them.
See, I would agree if people playing a Sonic game for the first time didn't become so stupid.
See, but then you have like in the small corner footage of you A ranking the stage. And you just put in multiple takes of that.
For like a minute, because I would get done with it really fast.
And it would just keep looping. You just get new recordings of it. Just different A rank runs you do.
Mm-hmm. Man, I love the aesthetic of this game. The jungle levels in the adventure era are always something that really, I think, pop. Like, if you scrutinize it, you can tell that it's obviously, like, pictures of bushes and shit as the textures.
Yeah, but they're so green. Which you don't see things this bright and vibrant on this era of consoles for the most part.
Yeah, it's really...
I say that, but Sega, I guess, was the exception, because they also made Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, and
Space
you
Channel
have,
5.
like, Super Mario Sunshine and shit. Which is, like, even brighter than this. But, yeah, I don't know, like, the way it all comes together, the particle effects, the textures, all the different little plants everywhere, it looks really, really nice.
And then you get to get an even more different look for Heroes and Frog Forest.
Yeah.
Which is also a really cool looking level.
Frog Forest still I included in the same tier when I mentioned the quote-unquote adventure era jungle levels, because it uses like very similar texturing techniques to
right
this.
that's
I almost
why I brought
fucking
it up.
died.
This doesn't have the particle effects, but it has the rain stuff, which is really cool. A unique look. And then every frog model is just Froggy but bigger.
Yeah, that was something, of course, that was actually one of the things as a kid I did notice. I was like, hey, wait a minute, this Froggy. Because I remember, like, playing Team Rose, and Big is constantly talking about Froggy. And this Heroes was my first Sonic game, so, you know, I didn't have context for why the fuck he wanted this frog so bad. So when I get to Frog Forest, I'm just like, why the... Big, there's frogs everywhere. Look, it's Froggy, this one, take it.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. But, yeah, this... I'm gonna keep saying it, but this is also one of the best levels in the game. God, it's so fun. And you'll notice this game is significantly more streamlined, I guess, than Sonic Adventure's levels.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat, because Sonic Adventure levels, like, the way they're designed, they can take a while, but if you know the layout of them, you can finish them in like 5 seconds. And that's like kind of a criticism against that game, is that you can kind of skip a lot of it. But I don't really like complaints like that for Sonic games, especially because you're not going to be doing that on your first time. You're going to be playing through it in the quote-unquote intended way, you know. When you get, and B, you're going to get to the cool skips and stuff once you're a master, you know. Sonic Adventure kind of not, because some of the skips in that are really easy, but a lot of them, you know, you have to have a deep understanding of the level design. This game, you don't really get anything like that, because the levels are very long, narrow paths that don't really wind around themselves like the adventure levels do. And that's not me saying that as a problem. I think it works for the adventure gameplay a whole lot, because, yeah, I am very familiar with the adventure gameplay, and I would like the game to make me utilize it a little bit more than just skipping everything in Sonic Adventure. And that's why I find this game personally a hell of a lot better than Sonic Adventure 1. Other than, you know, the fact that this, as janky as it is, I think it's a lot more polished than Sonic Adventure 1.
Everybody's favorite level right here, by the way.
Oh yeah, Pumpkin Hill is genuine peak, and it's the sole reason why I want a Knuckles spin-off, like, collectathon. Because the wide open
have
spaces...
that when you beat Banjo-Kazooie.
No. I might eventually, but god damn it, I don't care. And I know I'm probably going to make someone mad with that, but I just don't give a fuck about Banjo-Kazooie.
I did play a little bit of that.
Dude, I even gave fucking Ukulele a try, and I didn't like that either. So
I did
like,
get the bad ending, and yeah, that was something. That was good.
Hora, hora, hora!
Knuckles likes a lot of onomatopoeias.
And just like that, in a flash, we've gone through what, like 7 stages? And we're getting to the... Well, yeah, we're basically at the halfway point of the hero side story already. In terms of the amount of levels, we're going to start getting a lot more cutscenes in the next couple parts, so the level frequency goes down. But it's crazy. This is what I'm talking about with the pacing. You are just going from level to level in this game, essentially, with very little interruption. The biggest interruption, if you're skipping cutscenes and everything, is the cutscene before the Sonic Shadow fight, because you can't skip that.
Yeah.
So,
at least they made like a good story that fits with it, you know, which I do appreciate. It's like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Unleashed both feel like much more laid back games, while this, you feel the urgency. So it's like it makes sense that there's no open world, you know.
Yeah, like this game is like a big government conspiracy type action film, you know. It's got a lot more immediate stakes, though you would think the world being shattered would instigate more
it's Sonic and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. That's what Sonic Adventure 2 is, essentially. But yeah, thank you for joining us for part 1 of Sonic Adventure 2. And we'll be back with some more next time.